record button. Great, great. Well, welcome everyone who has joined us for this hour. My name is Sarah Fisher, and I am the CEO and founder of Blue Lotus Films, and we are a video production company based in the Bay Area. And I primarily do promotional videos, advertising videos for entrepreneurs, small businesses, artists, and nonprofits. And my mission is really to help impact the world with video through transformational videos. And so I love to work with people who have a mission of social good, or what we would call a conscious entrepreneur. And so I want to introduce you to someone who I think you will really enjoy. It's been a pleasure getting to know her recently. Her name is Nicola Walker, and she runs a company called Nicola Life Coaching.
Nicola Walker Coaching, actually.
Nicola Walker Coaching.
Yes.
And you can go to her website, nicolawalkercoaching.com.
Right.
And I will just read a little bit about Nicola so you know who she is. Bring that up. So our topic today is how to overcome self-doubt and increase your creativity and confidence. So this is something that anyone can apply to their business if they're looking for more creativity, looking, for ways to overcome blocks to their confidence. And we really hope that this next hour will be helpful to you. So we'll start off with about a 30-minute interview, and then we'll open it up to questions so that you can really have value and get your questions answered.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here we go. So a little bit about Nicola. She has been a life coach for 15 years and a hypnotherapist for almost 20 years. And she was formerly an actress. She is the author of the upcoming book, Finding Joy in the Middle of the Mess. She has studied with spiritual teachers such as Eckhart Tolle, Adi Ashanti, and Byron Katie. And for 25 years, she has been developing her own process to turn problems, emotions, and desires over to intuitive wisdom for guidance. Nicola works with creatives and women entrepreneurs, primarily, who feel blocked and held back by self-doubt. She helps her clients to trust and believe in themselves while making decisions they can confidently act on for success in their careers. And she lives here in the San Francisco Bay Area. So welcome, Nicola.
Yeah. Hello. Hi.
Yeah, great to have you.
Thank you. It's great to be here, Sarah.
Awesome, awesome. So if you want to tell the audience a little bit about how you decided to come to this work, and just a little any other intro that you want to give to the audience.
Yes, sure. Well, it's been a long journey for me, and I think the most important thing to share is that when you have a calling, it just pulls you. It's not about pushing to try and do things. So it took me a while to figure out marketing and things like that. But the actual raw impulse, the desire in my heart just came and initially began with a fascination with connecting with my own intuitive wisdom, because it opened up a whole new world for me. I was able to see where I was limited in my thinking and beliefs, and I've developed a system to turn to it for help when I have problems and challenges and questions. But I'm a creative person. I'm writing a book, and I've been like this for years, creative. And so I think that's why I enjoy working with creative people. And I do work with quite a lot of women entrepreneurs, but I recently I've been taking on male clients too again, and so male entrepreneurs as well. But I just love helping people release all that doubt, and because it's just an illusion, really, that we get into. You know, it's like a veil, and inside is this, beyond the veil is this a clarity and a confidence that you can attain to just give your gifts to the world, and feel much more joy in your life, and that's what I love to help people with.
Oh, wonderful. That's amazing. Well, it just sounds like you've been following your passion, and you have used your own tools that you've developed to actually be able to overcome self-doubt. And I would love to hear more about that. You know, how a person, I think so many people, especially entrepreneurs, you know, just come head to head with self-doubt, and they really need really practical tools, you know, just to be able to move forward, because, you know, every day we're sort of like trying to step out of our comfort zone, trying to push ourselves in a direction so that we can grow and that we can be of service to the world. So that's what really interested me, Nicola, about talking to you.
Thank you.
I'm wondering, you know, what would you say to someone who has, you know, the self-awareness that they have some self-doubt that they need to overcome? What would be the first step that they should take, for instance?
Right. Well, the first step is awareness, you know, that you've got it, to be able to catch that self-doubt whenever it shows up, so that it doesn't just take over your day or your week or your year. So that's the first thing, is to be able to catch it, you know, and then it depends. I mean, I work with people who they really have difficulty trusting and believing in themselves, and they have that either since childhood or since an emotionally challenging event. And so when it's that strong, you know, there are lots of practices that you can use to just shift your mental and emotional state. But if you've got that set in, that pattern, then you have to do more than that, you know. So what I do with people is healing the self-doubt wound. Which I do with hypnotherapy and over the phone. So I'm able to work with people all over the world, and it's really, really powerful and doesn't actually take long. It's amazing. Yeah.
Wow. That is amazing. And so you're using the tool of hypnotherapy to really access the subconscious level. That's my understanding.
Yeah. And to revisit, you know, when that self-doubt really began, and just to change it all up, you know, and it's pretty easy, you know about neuroplasticity, right? I mean, the brain, we want to change, and the brain is capable of it, and the whole body mind is capable of transformational change.
Okay. So is it your belief that it would be, you know, very hard to do this, removing these blocks without hypnotherapy? I mean,
there are many different ways, you know, because there's all kinds of people out there with different modalities, right? So that's just the modality I use because it suits me. I seem to have a talent for it, so I just do it, you know. And then there's practices that I teach people on when because sometimes, you know, we can. It's not like the core, the foundation has changed, you know. So that's good once you've done the hypnotherapy, but you can still have a moment where some fear comes up, you experience some doubt. It's not like you become superhuman.
Right.
So it's only human to have these things. But when it's just minor, then there's tools that you can use and practices that you can use to change your emotional state.
Wow.
And your mental state. Yeah.
Wow.
that are simple and quick to use. And really it's just having the willingness to use them, to make that choice. Because sometimes people, particularly when they haven't done so much inner work, they get caught up in the story of it all and think that false self, the small self, the one who they think is not good enough or has, you know, just fails over and over again and is good for nothing or whatever horrible thing they say. That's actually not true, obviously. And so when you can change into a state of a mental and emotional state that it reflects the truth, which is that you are beautifully gifted and totally capable, and everything is perfect, you know. Go for it.
Yeah, I mean, if the tool works and you see a difference, I say, you know, keep using that tool. I think you really hit the nail on the head when you talked about the willingness, because I do think there are a lot of people who maybe have not experienced energy work and are very skeptical. And, you know, they read all the tips and tricks in Entrepreneur Magazine and Success Magazine and, you know, getting enough sleep and drinking water and, you know, just going for it, just do it. And, you know, all of these little pithy pieces of advice that we get. And I do think they're helpful. But at the end of the day, if you're not moving forward, it seems like it would be useful to look at something like hypnotherapy.
Yeah, that's right. Because sometimes things can just work on the surface, you see, and they don't go deep enough. So you end up encountering the same challenges on a frequent basis.
Wow. Wow. And I'm really just curious now to hear a little bit about your journey, Nicola. You know, you talked about using your own intuition to overcome your blocks. Would you mind sharing a bit about some of the blocks that you've overcome on your journey?
Yeah, well, self-doubt, yeah, low confidence, the habit of looking at what's not happening and getting upset about it. and hopeless, helpless. You know, those are different states I've been in. You know, I've been in victim state. I've been, I've had financial issues myself. I was hiding, really. You know, hiding. There was this period where I was, everything really dropped away financially during the recession, you know, when we had that bad recession in 2008, and I started house sitting, and then, but you see, I didn't have clarity on my business, and so I wasn't building momentum or anything like that. I was just really floundering around, and it was a terrible state to be in, and I felt a lot of shame. I really felt small, and I ended up about a year later on a friend's sofa in Santa Cruz, and I was just a puddle, you know, because it just felt like I'd become so small. You know, I just felt like a piece of driftwood.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And yeah, I did. I mean, that's how it ended up being. And I knew I couldn't carry on like that any longer. So I made a decision. I made a decision to stop the self-doubt and to get clear and take action. And so, I don't know, there's something about that decision. It changed things for me. And I found a job. I found a home that was up in the mountains overlooking the ocean in Santa Cruz, and was very happy there. And then I started getting coaching clients, and I had the money to invest in my coaching business, and that really turned things around for me. Wow. You know, sometimes you do have to reach out and get some help, wherever you feel like you need it most. And luckily I was able to help myself more on the inner game piece. But for me, it was business coaching that I needed.
Yes, but that decision to go in a different direction, kind of like moving the ship in a different direction, it seems like that was crucial. And then you were able to find the tools and the resources.
Yeah. I find there have been moments in my life where there's like this, it seems like everything implodes and gets worse than ever. And then there's something happens where, I rise up and it's like enough is enough. And I claim what I want in a very strong way. And I make a choice and a decision. And, it shifts.
Yeah. Wow. That's powerful.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So in terms of your business, I'm curious to hear a couple case studies on some people that you've worked with that have turned around their self-doubt and become more confident, maybe done some things that they never really thought were possible. Anything you'd like to share about some of the clients that you've worked with?
Right. Well, they're a mix. There's some people who, like I said, are entrepreneurs. And then there are other people who are in a job. And for example, there's this one client of mine, and when she came to me, she was in a job that she really didn't like. And she really wanted to be a writer and write a book. And also, she enjoys painting. But she wasn't doing those things because she was so emotional and reactive about this job. And so when she got home at night, she would be exhausted and she would shut herself away. So she got lonely, and she did have a pattern of self-doubt that she'd had since childhood. So she was pretty frustrated, but she had all these dreams. And when she spoke about her dreams, she would light up. And so I lit up too, because I so much wanted to support her to live those dreams. So as a result of the coaching, in a very short while, she changed jobs to one that she's more excited about. And she started, even before she changed jobs, she learned how to change her emotional and mental state. We did some working on the self-doubt wound, which was connected with having distant parents and certain incidents that had happened in childhood. And, where that seed had begun. And critical parents. And so she started writing. She broke through that block, and she's writing her book. And she's painting. She's going out a lot more. She's having fun. She's doing self-care, and she's confident. So it's really great.
Yeah, it just sounds like more enjoyment for her life. Really just doing things that make her happy instead of, just kind of flogging through life, showing.
Oh, yeah, that's so awful. And time, years can go by sometimes when that's happening. So, and then there's another one I'd like to share with you is a male client of mine, and he is an entrepreneur, and he actually has ADD. And so he was interested in my work because he's very creative and has a real creative mind with lots of ideas, but he gets easily distracted and he's really low on follow through. And he also has a lot of pain around all these failures that he feels he's had in his life around his career. So he has, when he came to me, he felt like he was just floundering around and was never finishing anything. So he had low self-esteem. And so we worked on that. And again, within a short time, he's found his purpose, and that gave him a lot of clarity. And we healed all that sense of failure. So he doesn't feel that now. He's seeing himself. In fact, he's not seeing himself as defined by his past. He's seeing that he's that he's beginning this exciting new future. And there's this amazing seed that's already starting to blossom. And so that's exciting. And he's following through on this. He's got this amazing creative project that I won't share because, you know, I don't have his permission, but it's wonderful. It's aligned with his purpose and his vision, and he's taking action on it now. And so that's going to really put him on the map.
Wow. Wow. That's, I love both of those stories. And to me, it just really shows the value of coaching, you know, having someone else see your strengths and be able to pull you up and see things that you couldn't see in terms of the blocks and overcoming those blocks. And just seems really valuable.
It is. It is. I mean, you know, it's like night and day sometimes, trying to struggle on your own to do it. And then just getting that support with somebody who you really resonate with, that you feel comfortable with. And because there's a lot of love in there, in that relationship. You know, it's very supportive.
And one question that came to my mind, and this might be more of a difficult question, hopefully not too difficult, but maybe difficult for some people to even bring to mind. But I want to address it because I do think that some people might be struggling with it and it could be helpful. And the question is just about shame. You know, when you're overcoming self-doubt, it seems like you have to have that self-awareness and get to a place of like, okay, this is a story that's running in my life. But have you seen people who are, you know, maybe have so much resistance and shame that they've been carrying with them that, you know, it can take a little longer to get to that place of self-esteem and confidence?
Right. I think I have seen it for sure, but I don't know about how long it takes. I mean, you know, it's quite remarkable. I think it's not long. It's not like psychotherapy or something. No, it can be just a few sessions.
Okay.
So, but I have seen it, and I know what you're talking about. But the level of resistance, you know, if somebody's like super resistant to change, then they probably wouldn't contact me. So some of that resistance is already lessened by the time somebody says that, you know, they find me, they contact me. You know, I can talk more about that towards the end, how to go about that. But they and of course choosing to harm me, you know, it's they have to feel safe with me, and I guess they do feel that when I give my I have a you know, a free breakthrough session I give as a consultation, and and they're able to feel that they will be safe with me.
Wonderful.
That they can trust me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent. And so you were saying that you work with creative people. Can you define that? Because I know when we first met, you were saying creative, and I was thinking, you know, artists and photographers, etc. How do you define creativity? Okay.
Well, you know, I think we are all creative, but it shows in different ways, right? So some people really think that they're not creative. And there are coaches out there who specialize in helping you find your creativity. But mine is more, I work more with people who know that they're creative. Although I do have a few entrepreneurs who the creativity piece actually doesn't come into it. They just feel they've got this self-doubt and they feel blocked, you know. And some of them are healers, so they're sensitive type people, you know, and I think creative people are more sensitive wise. So there is a correlation. And then I have some who they're just the self-doubt, deciding to be an entrepreneur. It takes a certain kind of person, and it's a very particular path, and it can just bring up this self-doubt, So I have one person in particular who is an entrepreneur. Her business is not a particularly creative one, and she's never really spoken about creative aspirations, but she did have, her wound was all, what are people going to think of me? And it seemed to really hold her back in all kinds of ways, from speaking, about her work and giving classes and so on, to sales calls, all of it, So it really trapped her. And so there's that end of the spectrum. And then there's people who are writing books, creating some, creative mind that's, say somebody in a creative career, like graphic design. I've worked with a few graphic designers. There's, somebody who's in, as a trainer. So there's that, so there's all kinds of ways developing their own material. So it can look, as you can imagine. Oh, and singers. I've worked with singers and musicians too.
Okay, thank you.
As well as a few artists, but artists that I don't specialize in working with artists, but wherever it shows up, whoever I can help.
Right. Thank you for defining that, because I do think that, so many people who set out to be entrepreneurs might not consider themselves creative, but I would say just the act of being an entrepreneur is pursuing creativity, because you're being creative with your life. So you're figuring out, how to navigate this terrain of entrepreneurship. It requires creativity, even though we don't normally think of it that way. I think, just being creative every day and how you structure your day, your time management, that requires flexibility, creativity.
Right. That's it. You see, and the path of the entrepreneur is just going to affect your nervous system in a similar way to being a creative person. And so it has very similar challenges, because there's all these different areas within being an entrepreneur that will trigger self-doubt.
Yes.
Or indecisiveness. A lot of the people I work with have difficulty making decisions. Well, they used to.
Right. Absolutely. I identify with that. Absolutely. There's so many decisions to make as an entrepreneur, and, which direction do you go, and which projects, there always seems like a number of projects you could be doing in terms of, growing your business, and how do you decide which big projects to do for that quarter or, that month, and then hiring. Exactly. So my work with intuitive wisdom really helps there too, because I teach people how to make decisions that they can trust, clear decisions that they can trust with the whole body. They're just a big yes. And that's different from working things out with your mind, with your logical mind only, based on reason. And, sometimes people don't make the best decisions that way. You can use reason and logic, but you've got to have that intuitive yes too, and know how to connect with that and find it. Wonderful. All right. Well, I have just a couple more questions, and we can open it up if anyone else wants to join the room. All you need is access to your web camera and your microphone. We're happy to have you take a seat in the room, and you can ask Nicola questions applicable to your business. So you're more than welcome to do that. But we'll just close out the formal interview with just a couple more questions here. So I was really curious, to be very specific about the work that I do, which is working with entrepreneurs who need to get out there and share their message in a bigger way, specifically through video. And I, every day, come across business owners, whether they've been working for 5 years or 20 years, they have a fear of being on camera, a fear of, having people criticize them and, not looking the way they want to.
Right.
I'm really curious to hear your take on, what would you say to someone looking to integrate video into their business? And are there some tips and tools to overcome self-doubt?
Right. Well, it's all part of the same thing, right? Whatever you do to make you show up each day to just do what you have to do for your business is the same. It's the same stuff as what you have to do to show up, to be more visible, to be on video, to have speaking gigs and be interviewed and all of that, right? It's all the same thing. So, what I do to prepare for my clients, to make sure I'm focused and make the best decisions. It's the same preparation in a way, And so 3 tips. Okay, so one would be to just know what self-doubt is for you. Again, know when that's set in, and know that it's not your true self, right? So wondering what people are going to think of you is really small thinking. And, we do it sometimes, yeah. It's human, but it's really based, it's going right back to childhood, and you might as well stick your thumb in your mouth too, because that's how you're feeling in that moment, right? And so that puts it in perspective, because it becomes so real for us, but that's really what it's about. And so, deciding how you want to show up for your business. And one way to change your state is to do something that you love. Do something that you love. Know what it is for you. So obviously there are these big things that take a bit of planning, but there's simple things you can do too. Like just step outside and go for a brisk walk to change your state, or meditate, or dance, or whatever it's going to be for you. Watch a funny video, and know what it feels like in your body. I refer to that a lot, but it's helpful, and some people will resonate more with that than others. But it's good. It's a good tip, because you want to feel that strength and that energy in your legs. And you want to be standing tall, be able to open your arms wide with confidence. So you can practice that kind of physicality, and that will help. And then the third thing is it's not about you. It's about you living your purpose and your passion, but but you're doing that for others. Your purpose is to serve others. So this, I've always, before I learned anything about speaking, that was the first thing I realized, was it's all about them, not about me.
Yeah.
So, that's what I always think. I don't have time to think about me and, anything. I'm just, you have to be present. Be present. It's about them. It's about delivering your purpose and your message and helping whoever is listening.
Yeah.
And just if you do that and you're present, you'll find that those fears will start to drop away.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much. Those are very wise pieces of advice. I hope everyone was taking notes on that. You really shared so many of the things that I recommend to people. We're definitely seeing eye to eye on that. Just especially the part about getting outside yourself, because it isn't about you. And so many people I come across, just really being concerned about their appearance, which, as you said, is like really childish. Like, We all have, you know, issues with our physical appearance, but at the end of the day, the audience is really not that critical. They're there to support you.
No.
You get into this neuroses. I've, you know, seen so many people where it's like, you know, you're imagining and you're creating a story that, you know, maybe you experienced when you were 5 years old, or, you know, throughout childhood, you know, getting up in front of the class and, you know, feeling that tension. And
exactly, that's what it feels like. I mean, when I've got into that, I mean, I just don't do that anymore, you know, but I remember when I used to think things like that. Yeah. And it really is just because you never made a decision to grow up. I know it sounds a bit tough, but really that's what it's about. Because if you want to wow, you know, have a successful book, a business, a career.
Yeah.
You have to grow up. You know, you've got to do what it takes.
Yes, yes, and that's really why I wanted to, you know, dive in and ask you this question. You know, someone who deals specifically with these confident blocks every day and sees it in a large number of people, because I want to help dispel this myth. You know, it's not about video at the end of the day. That's my perspective. Video is just a tool for transformation, a tool to help you grow your business. But at the end of the day, if I encounter someone who doesn't want to be on video, well, they're just not ready to grow their business.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They should take
you can see it trickling out in other areas, whereas the people I am working with who are really going for it and they're ready, well, you know, they're the ones that are going to make the quantum leaps. They're the ones that are, you know, really ready to grow, not in terms of let's have this great video strategy. It's just simply about how they want to bring value to people and affect people's lives.
Right, exactly. Exactly. You know, and if you're somebody who you know, you've got a business and you keep sabotaging it with this kind of behavior, then do some inner game work, you know, and contact somebody like myself to just deal with it for once and for all, because it's such a time waster. I can't emphasize that enough, you know, because I took a long while and it wasn't so much that kind of thing, but, you know, I had my own issues and just slow myself down a lot, it seems, you know. But anyway, I'm doing fine now. But
wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good place for you to share, if you don't mind. Just where can people reach you, and you know, how can they work with you if they'd like to?
Yeah, right. So I have a special gift for everyone who's listening here today, and I'm offering you a free Overcome Self-Doubt Breakthrough session. And so in this session, this is for people who you really feel like you've got this block, and you know that's what you've got to focus on. You've just got to heal the self-doubt wound and get confident so you can have the creative success that you would like in your life, you know, as an entrepreneur or with a book or music or whatever it is for you, you know, actors, work with all kinds of people. And so we're in this session. It's over the phone. It's going to be just over an hour, and we'll look at what's stopping you. We'll look at what you really want to create in your life and career, what's happening right now. And so if you want this, it will be subject to availability, because in case we do get a lot of people, you know, I'll have to just slot it into my these sessions into my calendar as best I can. But this is my offer. And so all you have to do is just go to my website, which is Nicola. I'll say it and then I'll spell it. NicolaWalkerCoaching.com. So that's Nicola, N for Nancy, ICOLA, Walker, WALKER, coaching, COACHING.com, NicolaWalkerCoaching.com. And there's a box there that that mentions this free breakthrough session, and just sign up in the box, and then you'll get your appointment.
Wonderful.
So that's all you have to do. And
I hope everyone takes
you'll know if this
on
is for
this.
you.
Do it very soon.
Yeah.
I know that she's very busy. And so, yeah, if you have any inclination to, just get started, just figure out what these blocks are and see if Nicola might be the person to help you. Definitely, I encourage you. I just pasted the website in the chat, so you can just click on the link and you'll see the box to go and sign up for her session. So I think unless anyone wants to come in the room, I think we'll close up the interview for today. Is there anything else you would like to share with people, Nicola, that, just anything upcoming in your business you want people to know about?
Not in particular. I mean, I guess what I want to say is, that you're precious, that your gifts are precious, and to really honor yourself and do what you come here to do, and you'll know that in your heart. It's what keeps returning over and over again, that those images, that vision, that dream, the things you feel drawn to, the things you're passionate about. And if you're not doing them, or if blocks and self-doubt are really hindering your progress, then reach out and get in touch. And this is the work I love, and be happy to hear from you.
Wonderful. Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Nicola, for coming here today. It's just, I think, such a, valuable service that you're providing. And, I'm just happy to get your work out into the world. For those of you who did take time out of your day to watch the interview or the replay on YouTube, we just really appreciate you showing up for yourself and really trying to figure out how you can move forward. Really looking at, what tools can help you. So I hope this interview has been helpful to you today. And if you have any questions at all, get in touch with us. And definitely, as I mentioned before, that offer from Nicola, the breakthrough session, there's not that many available. So you will want to go up and sign up for that today.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Because just seize the moment, right? That's what it's all about.
Yeah, absolutely. Inspired action. That's what.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you, Nicola. And we will be in touch soon. So thanks for taking time out of your day. And we'll. Oh,
it's a pleasure, Sarah. It was such fun talking with you and playing at video interviews.
Yeah, you're an example for everyone, for sure. And it's not hard. We had a lot of fun, right?
No, we did. It was a lot of fun. Yeah. Wish you lots of too. Wish you lots of luck.
Thank you, dear. Okay, I'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Okay. All right.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.